For 31 years, beginning in 1976 through his retirement in 2007 and continuing to this day, Rod Commons has been a fixture of Washington State athletics. His efforts in promoting WSU student athletes and coaches brought a national pride to the Cougars, including 6 top 10 finishes in the Heisman Trophy balloting, 282 track and field All-Americans, 20 baseball All-Americans, including John Olrud, Baseball America's 1988 Player of the Year, as well as 5 NCAA men's and women's basketball appearances, to name just a few. His innovation and creativity led to highly successful promotional campaigns for Cougar student athletes, including the famed RPM backfield, promoting the 1985 Cougar football team. During his years in Pullman, Commons mentored countless professional staff and student assistants to leadership roles across the country in athletics and news media. He was also nationally renowned among his peers, serving as the College Sports Information Directors of America president, and was later inducted into the organization's Hall of Fame in 2007. He capped his COSIDA career by receiving its Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010. Additionally, he is a member of the Inland Northwest Sports Hall of Fame Scroll of Honor. Following his retirement, Commons has continued his association with the Cougars, serving as photographer and historian for the athletic department. In all, his career spanned more than 40 years in athletic administration, included countless wins and losses, and most importantly, the dedication to his craft positively impacted all those he served. Tonight, Rod Commons deservedly takes his place among Cougar greats with his induction into the Washington State Athletic Hall of Fame.
I told everybody I wouldn't get nervous until I approached the podium. I am. First thing I'd like to say, and this wasn't in my script, but Pat said it best: if those videos don't give you goosebumps, you're not alive. And I think that our video people are the best in the country at what they do, and I'd like to give them a welcome hand. First, I got to congratulate all the inductees. I had a front row seat to every one of them, taking their pictures, mug shots, action pictures. That's one of the wonderful things about my career, and it continues today. I get right down on the field, the pool, the track, whatever it is, and I see the sweat, I see the angst, and I see the euphoria for so many athletes in my 44 years. And it's just a real privilege and honor to have been able to do that. But to tonight's 5 student athletes, awesome people. I was very close to some of them, and I want to congratulate all of you. I guess I can throw part of my script away because I was going to introduce all the people that are on the selection committee, but I do want to thank them very much for this honor, and I want all of you to know that it was the first time since 1978 when we formed the Hall of Fame they didn't let me vote. So many people have made this honor possible, and without a fabulous staff, some of whom are here tonight, great coaches, some of whom are here tonight, and all the great athletes that I've had a privilege to watch, photograph, and work closely with in 44 years has made this possible. It was not me. I learned early in my career you cannot enjoy and appreciate the highs without also experiencing some lows, and I have done that. But I am at a loss for words to tell you how I feel right now. Those bowl games, the first one in '81, I don't know how many people remember back that far or how important it was. But Washington State had not been to a bowl game in over 50 years. And that bowl game paved the way for all the success that we enjoy today. 2 Rose Bowls. None of that matches the way I feel tonight. The only thing that tops this event happened 50 years ago, or just over 50, when I said, "Yes, I do," to my wife of 50 years, Linda. She has been my rock through a lot of ups and downs. When I was down, she brought me up, and when I was up, she said, "Take it easy now." We just celebrated our 50th golden anniversary this summer, and I want you to know that I am so sincere when I say, in 50 years, she's my North Star, without question. I love you, Linda. We also have two wonderful daughters, and I didn't have a lot to do with raising them. The one phrase that I heard so many times was, "Wait until your dad gets home." Because I was on the road. If we would play a road game, like at SC or Minnesota, I was at that town all week. Flew back with the team charter, and if we were on the road the next weekend, then I was off again. So Linda took care of the home fires, and when I'd come home, I'd get lots of hugs and, "What'd you bring me?" But I'd like to introduce them. First of all, daughter Rebecca, we call her Becky. She's a school teacher over in Kalama. Unfortunately, her children, our grandchildren, could not make this trip today because of prior commitments. Our other daughter is Melissa. And Melissa lives right next door to us, so we get to see the family constantly. And that's a good thing. With Melissa, her husband Doug, who puts in 7-day-a-week job as a superintendent or foreman for a local farmer, and their children Sadie, Cody, and Tuff. Sadie just graduated from Pullman High. The other two are in middle school and high school. There's so many people in this room that I've seen today that I haven't seen in years, and I have a tendency to maybe overtalk and try and introduce anybody. I will not do that tonight. But there are two people I want to introduce, one here, one not. The first one is Dick Fry. Dick Fry is in the Hall of Fame. His wife, Marilyn. Dick hired me. I don't know whether he's ever regretted it or not, but if he has, he never told me. For you old Coug fans, Dick wrote the 100-year history of Cougar athletics and reminds us all the time that he was not here when all of it happened, but he's been here for most of it. And the second one is not here tonight, and I'm kind of sad about that. Sam Jankovic. Sam didn't hire me, but he approved it. And Sam and I worked together for a number of years, and he was probably one of the most supportive athletic directors of our office at really difficult times. We just didn't have money. I don't know how we did it, but we were able to do it. And I owe Sam a tremendous debt of gratitude. And if you're Cougar fans, you do too. And I'm going to tell you very quickly why. When Sam took over in 1976, we had a 25,500 seat stadium. And the bottom 4 rows on both sides we couldn't sell because if you sat there, all you saw was the rear end of one team or the other. Sam had a vision. We're going down. And we put 13 more rows in that stadium. Made it a 40,000-foot fan stadium. Second thing he did, he told, once we got the stadium done, he told the powerhouses in the conference, "We're not playing at your place or Spokane anymore. We're playing in Pullman." I remember when Don James said, "Well, we can't go over there and play a game. Our folks won't be able to find their way home in the dark." And a very wise coach said, "Well, I don't know about you, but in Pullman, when it gets dark, we turn the lights on." It was a huge decision to play SC, UCLA, Washington, and a couple of other schools in Pullman where we had a chance to win. And the third thing that Sam did was change our football schedule. Ask Jim Walden what it was like when he took over as head coach. My first 3 years, we opened with 3 games in the Midwest. 1, 2, 3. And 2 of those years, we then went to USC or UCLA. Can you imagine what our football team felt, how bad they were beat up playing Michigan, Minnesota, Kansas, Wisconsin? Sam said, no more. We're going to play teams that we can be competitive with, and we're going to play some of them in Pullman. And all the coaches since then have benefited from that. So to Sam and to Dick, congratulations. My predecessor is also here tonight, Mike Wilson with his wife Pat. Stand up. We won't tell you where Mike went after he left Washington State. He is a Cougar. But he recommended to Bob Smalley and Dick Fry that I get the job. And I was thinking last night, Mike, if that hadn't happened and I was still on the East Coast, I'd probably be hunkering down, worried about Dorian, instead of being here. Keith Shipman is another very important person in my life. Keith, stand up. Come on. He was a student assistant in our office for a long time and has just been so loyal, but I think Keith probably strong-armed or knew some rather interesting stories about a lot of people who contributed letters of support. And he won't admit that he had to strong-arm anybody, but I think he probably did. But he put together an unbelievable packet, and I can never thank you enough for friendship and for that. I want to tell you just one quick story. I thought I was going to be fired a month after I took the job. Serious. It's our first home game. Who we played doesn't matter. But I was conscientious, so I was up in the press box about 2 hours before anybody else. And I'm walking around making sure the food's all set up. Everything's the way we wanted. Our placemats are down for the sports writers. They've got everything in the foundation office, the president's office, and the Cougar Club. And there's 2 kids just running all over the press box, screaming and shouting, having a wonderful time. Thought it was their playground. I finally had enough, as my kids can tell you. I can get stern. And I grabbed both of them and I said, you get back to where you belong, and I don't want to see you out here in the hallway again. And they did. Pretty soon somebody walked up to me and they said, do you know who those kids are that you just jumped on? Those are President Glenn Terrell's children. I thought I was one and done. To his credit, he never brought it up again, and I think it was Mr. Fry who said he probably applauded you. I'm often think about a phrase that I grew up with, that it takes a village to raise a child. The name on the plaque is mine, but it should say Team Commons, because that's what we were. We were family. We were team in our office. The people changed, the staff changed, the students changed, the assistants, everybody, coaches, athletes, but they all contributed to the success that we had amongst ourselves, the coaches, the administrators, and especially the student athletes. And at this time, I would like to have everybody who had any association to the Sports Information Office during my career to please stand up. I know there are several former assistants that are here. Coaches, that includes you. Athletes, that includes you. These people are the ones that helped us have success. As I said, this is just an unbelievable evening for me and for my family. I want to thank again the selection committee and everybody that's here that had anything to do with our operation in 32 years. God bless all of you, and help me out. Go Cougs!